Hey, good afternoon, everyone. I am Simon. Welcome to the Wandering Society. We are, of course, playing Scion because this is what we do every Saturday afternoon. Kitten, get off my desk. Welcome, one and all. I hope you had a good week. Now I have a tail in front of my screen.
Oh,
There we go. Yeah, let's play some mythic storytelling and continue the adventures of our godlings. But before we begin, I would just like to thank all of our sponsors, beginning with Magen Press. You can find them at store.magenpress.com. You can use coupon code WanderingDM to get 15% off all of your purchases, which include their sci-fi fantasy campaign setting, Dark Matter. You should also check out Roll20. It's the platform that we use for all of our games here, the one that we use for Scion, though you don't see it on the overlay. But we use it for every game that we run. You should check them out, roll20.net, if you're looking for a virtual tabletop to play with friends online. And then, of course, Found Familiar, if you need to wake up, like I do at the moment, you should really get yourself some Found Familiar. They make awesome coffee, and you can also get 10% off your purchases by using code WanderingDM. We also have our Talsorian games that you should definitely check out. They made a bunch of games that we played here on the channel. Cyberpunk, Castle Falkenstein, The Witcher. They also made Mechton, Teenagers from Outer Space. You can check them out at ourtalsoriangames.com. They are friends of the Wandering Society, and they make some pretty awesome game, might I say. And last but not least, you should check out Die Hard Dice. They've got a bunch of cool dice that have been, released. You should check out their Lumina set, which is just gorgeous. But they actually also make glow-in-the-dark dice, which are very, very awesome. And there is one coming out. I briefly talked about it yesterday because I wasn't sure. But yes, it is the Hex Breaker dice. So it is going to be released tomorrow. Yes, March 20th. So yeah, check them out. They're very, very pretty. Hello, Thragon. Thank you for the subs. Holy shit. Yeah, it's been 43 months. My god. Before we delve into our game, let's go around the table, introduce our cast and crew. We'll start with the person to my right on the overlay. We're gonna go around clockwise, so we will begin with Anino. Hello.
How's it going, everyone? My name's Anino. I use he, him pronouns, as does my character, Eddie Kahele, the Scion of the Monkey King. And not currently having a very high level of trust in people these days.
I don't know what you mean. Up next, we have Hannah.
I am Hannah, she, her, and in this campaign I play, what the heck is my name? Kieran Kearney, Scion of Loki, who is also having a hard time trusting people, which is a little ironic, but it is what it is.
We're gonna go around the overlay to the second row. We're gonna start with Robert. Hi. You're muted.
sorry, had to cover some coughs there earlier. Hello, everyone. I'm Robert, otherwise known as Hawkeye or Kentucky Hawkeye, and I will be playing Finbar Odubda, he, him as well. He is a scion of Ogma out of the Celtic pantheon, and he is finding himself having to do more and more work lately due to all of the shenanigans that the other people in the party are doing.
Don't know what you're talking about. And last but not least, we have Lynn.
Hey, I'm Lynn, Gremlin Art, she, her, and in this campaign, I am playing D. Higa, also she, her, Darvanari, who already had existing trust issues. They're worse now, and she has a nemesis, so that was a fun trip. That was a fun trip to the Bone Pit.
It was a very productive trip, actually, because yes, the Scion have just come back from their trip in India where they fought a Rakshasa. In its tomb, actually, they were investigating a dig site, old place that their now deceased first nemesis, Olfer Stevenson, had his company Wolf Security sort of act as security, but also had all the archaeologists on the payroll. And they were digging something out. You weren't quite sure what it was. And you ended up finding this sort of ghostly, emaciated creature in a tomb. It looked hungry. And perhaps, might I say, evil. It tried to eat you. And tried to kill Yoshi.
You probably should have done that.
Probably should have done that. But no, in fact, Yoshi, who is technically a Scion, couldn't do anything against it. He was sort of paralyzed by fear. It is only due to the efforts of Eddie, Kieran, and Dee that the party was able to defeat the Rakshasa in its... Well, we're not quite sure if it was an illusion or a trans-dimensional jump or whatever it was, but it brought you to this sort of void in the middle of nowhere, where the sky was sort of checkered, and there were some floating islands here and there. You fought them, destroyed them, came back, were betrayed by Yoshi. Because you learned, of course, from, well, not from Yoshi, but from Dee touching Yoshi's armor, that Yoshi is not a Scion anymore. Yoshi is something else, something different. Something that we call a Titan spawn. Just like Ulfer before him, except that Yoshi, for some reason, did not start off as a Titan spawn, the child of Raijin. Hachiman, sorry. He was the son of Hachiman, and now is the adopted son of Raijin, compared to Ulfer, who always was nothing but a Titan spawn. Things are getting a bit messy. You, as you went back home, there was a phone call from Eddie, your good friend and accountant / lawyer, Mr. Zhubaiji, James Bacon, in his American name, was looking into something for Eddie, and well, things didn't go quite as planned, and we ended with a quick FaceTime communication between the two of you, where Mr. Bacon was tied up to a chair, apple in his mouth, while the stunt crew from before, now dressed in these sort of dapper outfits, all bearing the black and red rooster that you saw on the crates in Malta, were both making fun of him, making fun of you, perhaps sending an invitation to an encounter. We'll see about that. We'll see what it'll become. But yeah, they're sort of taunting Eddie from wherever they are. And so, begin our game today back at the cabin. The group is teleported using the door to the tomb, and in a flash, Eddie, Kieran, and Dee, you find yourself on familiar soil. In the distance, your very expensive cottage in the woods, your magical cabin. The lake is there, the pier is there, the training yard. Everything seems to be in order. The cars are there. If Yoshi came back in the meantime, there are no traces of him. No one's outside at the moment. You figured Chappa is probably somewhere, either in the woods, maybe in the lake. But the giant beaver is nowhere to be seen for now. What would y'all like to do before we pan over to Finbar for a moment? What's your first order of business when you get home?
So, how do you think we can keep this on the down low from Chappa?
We're gonna have to tell him at some point. This place lets us in. Is that one of those things where we have like a list of people who explicitly can't be here? Because we might need to use that now.
Yeah, we should see if we have a blacklist now.
That'd be good, because we have a lot of other things here that people can just walk in. Great. It's a good trip. Very productive trip. He's gonna walk toward the cabin. Just like...
Eddie, do you set out to find Chappa, or you're gonna leave that idea for later?
No, but you two should come with me. Moral support. And we should probably scout out the area and make sure that things are secure.
Does a beaver know how to do any kind of wards? Maybe we could put up something temporary.
Well, one way to find out. And I guess Eddie is just going to set out and look for Chappa.
It doesn't take you long. You just need to listen in for a bit. And the moment you hear the telltale sign of twigs and branches cracking, you figure the beaver is in the forest. There's not really any other animals. There are apparently birds, fishes in the lake, but aside from that, nothing else, really. So you make your way to towards where the sound is, and you do notice Chappa is busying himself sorting out branches, twigs, and bigger, almost like a sectioned trunk of a tree. Not logs per se, but some rather large pieces that, of course, a regular beaver would never have been able to bring along. But yeah, Chappa's sort of got his back turned to you and is just arranging everything in neat little piles, humming a song to himself.
Hey, so Chappa, we have something we need to discuss with you.
Oh, You're back. What is it?
You might want to sit down for this.
He takes a deep breath. Walks up to one of the chopped, not one of the stumps.
Mhm.
Just hops on up, sits down. Okay, what is it?
So, what's the protocol if one of our guests is no longer welcome here?
Finally getting rid of JD?
Wish.
Well, I mean, if someone was to no longer be allowed here, if they had come here before, we'd have to relocate.
Relocate?
Demolish everything and relocate elsewhere. Oh yeah, it's a process that takes roughly about 12 to 30 years to do. It's lengthy.
That's really the only option. To go nuclear. You can't
30
just
years.
Oh yeah, we don't mess around with that. The moment someone sets foot in here, if anything happens and they turn on you for some reason, well then we have to up and leave. It's the law, it's the divine law. So I really hope you didn't end up inviting someone here that ended up, not being an ally, and that you're just asking this question hypothetically, Eddie. Because I would absolutely hate, to have to destroy all of this beautiful place on account that you trusted an idiot in a cafe. Yeah, I see your mugs. I know what
Exactly
you've
that.
done. Uh-huh. Don't worry, and he hops off the stump. Sort of waddles up to Eddie, and he taps Eddie on the shoulder. It's already taken care of. The place itself keeps itself safe. We don't have to move. The only thing is, it works with divine blood. It's sort of easy if I get a sense that someone is problematic. Think of it like a guest list. So I was keeping an eye out on Yoshi because something was, well, he did not smell how he should have smelled. Now, the biggest problem you could have is if, let's say, there's a falling out between one of you, and one of you leaves. They could always come back, unless they forsake everything they are. It's a little rough, but you know how the house tends to rearrange itself to whatever your desires are?
Sure.
Kinda does the same with this. You wanted him out. And, this place sort of knew.
Oh.
But it's not foolproof. because if I'm right, he knows where the physical location of the axis is. He just needs to drive all the way there. Or fly, or teleport, or whatever. That I can't stop him.
Well, I mean, he would have to imbue a legend or imbue godly energy in order to open up the axis, wouldn't he?
Yes. Spawns of the Titans, just like Ulfur before, they don't have the same ichor running through them that we all have. However, they can fake it if they need to. They require a lot of, call it energy, power, favors. I don't know exactly how they work, but with time and effort, he could. The thing is would it be useful to him? Would it be worth it? Now, unless you know of ways to hide an Axis Mundi, which I have no idea, maybe we could hide the physical location. Otherwise, in the meantime, I mean, yeah, he could come back. But why?
Well, we do have some other artifacts here, and
Does he know
well, I
about
get the
them?
feeling he doesn't like D.
Oh. Family squabble.
Yeah. Call it that.
Um, well, if you want to hide, protect the place, I guess. I mean, maybe Winnie would know of a way. There used to be a time where I would say Winnie can do it. Not so sure about that now, but maybe. Maybe she knows of someone, or maybe she knows of a way. Maybe you all know of a way.
I have some things running. I can maybe take a look. I mean, it's the least we can do. We did let him in here, or I did.
We're just going to have to assign JD to guard the entrance.
Oh no. He's gonna have a job.
To be fair to JD, his stock amongst the visitors here has gone way up. And it's not being a secret enemy of that sort of thing. I mean, to have worse visitors.
Hmm. Well, check with him. And maybe Winnie. But hey, don't beat yourselves up with it. Betrayal is part of the whole living, as it were.
Yeah.
Yeah, not everyone's a goody, save the world, do whatever. In fact, there's a very little few that are. I'm lucky to have a parent that actually gives a shit. Can't say much for just about everybody else. I mean, they all seem to have their eons old fights and quarrels between themselves, and dragging the children with them is apparently the only resort they can think of. But hey, now you know.
Yeah.
Well, I was gonna go back to my stuff. If y'all wanna skulk here, you can.
No, we have work to do.
Never a
Yeah,
day
never
off.
busy. No, doesn't seem like it. Who knows? Maybe we'll find another blood feud between some of us and some other some enemy of some sort. It's that kind of day. No, I mean, we should probably tell Finbar what happened. Also, maybe you can tell us about. She'll hold out the that little like fist weapon, like the heck this thing is.
Sure. All right, well, let's get back to the house.
And while you're walking back from the forest, from the woods to the house, we're going to wind the clock back a bit and spy a little on our friend Finbar. The group has been gone for about... wait, when's the last... What was the last adventure you were there for, Finbar?
When we came back from, let's see, because I was with them before, with the adventure before we came. Then we came. Oh, I was with it. I was there for Malta.
Oh, okay. So
And such, so.
basically, they've been gone for like 2 days.
Yep.
So what have you been doing during that time?
Well, I believe I've been working on some projects that were placed before me. Let me see if I can find my notes here. Trying to identify some stuff, trying to figure out how to make some stuff happen. Let's see. Oops, that's not it either. I'd been researching that rooster symbol. I'd been trying to track that information down. Trying to figure out where everything was coming, where the source on that may be, and also working on ways to try to track down other Scions to try to get in contact and such with them. Trying to remember what else. Oh, those some of the objects that we brought back. I think I was doing some work on trying to figure those out. Unfortunately, I don't have the list here in front of me.
Well, we can start with the rooster.
Because the rooster is symbol we said was Chanico.
Yeah.
And the orb was a piece of Hades itself, the Chthonian orb.
Indeed.
One of a set of 3
Mhm.
that were that tied to the judges of the underworld. I can't remember if we identified which one I had. Whether it was one for Minos, Acus, or the other one that I can't read my own handwriting on.
Rhadamanthus.
Rhadamanthus, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. And the rune, we were trying to figure the runes. We were working on the runes, used to communicate with the gods to communicate. Oh yeah, all those rune things got to be placed in perfect circular order
circle.
under the light of a full moon, all that stuff, and needs one of us Scions to activate it.
Yep.
That's what we had done so far.
The rooster, the sign of Chantico, has been appearing more and more often in the last about 40 years on Earth. It is actually tied to a bank.
Interesting.
In Mexico City. Like their headquarters are in Mexico City.
Mm-hmm.
And they before I say something that isn't right. Yeah. And the bank was apparently founded in like the 1820s. Just at the end of the Mexican War of Independence. And they sort of remained like well, at first local, then regional, then national, and in the last 40 years, international branch. They don't really advertise themselves much. They tend to work with other businesses rather than individuals. And they're pretty quiet normally. One thing that does strike you in your research as kind of odd, given the circumstances, is they have like this very big focus on family. You know, their employees are members of our family, and the clients are considered, you know, to be brought into the family. And it's the family this, the family that, blah, 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 blah.
A part of the family.
Sort of. But it doesn't strike you as this type of family so much as almost the same sort of verbiage that Emis was using.
Mm-hmm.
With her people.
Mm-hmm.
It's
interesting.
Yeah. If you hadn't met Emis, you would just have probably thought that, oh yeah, okay, this is very a borderline mafia type of thing, but it sounds more like a cult.
Mm-hmm.
And they have a few subsidiaries, one of which sort of died about a decade ago, was Seguridad Chantico, which was a security company. They dealt mostly in alarm systems. They didn't deal in physical presence of agents like Ulfer did. But there was some bickering between the two of them that you can find, like some lawsuits that happened. And
Suits between Chantico and the
Ulfer.
Mother Bank? An Ulfer. Okay.
An Ulfer. Yeah. So, like, there was some. Did Ulfer know about Chentico, and did Chentico know about Ulfer? There is no way to know. Everything that you find is from a pure mortal point of view. But you know, you're in the know now, so there might have been something.
And the subsidiary went poof about 10 years
it
ago.
didn't really go bankrupt. They sort of just closed it. Probably like loss of clients, maybe they just didn't want to have to deal with it. They didn't sell to another company. Like, they didn't part with that subsidy and give it, like, hand it over to a different corporation. They just quietly folded it and disappeared.
They're not actively in business,
No.
so to speak.
But
there was no paperwork to
not that you could find.
disassemble the charter or anything, business charter or anything like that.
I should say that you or Naaman could find. No.
Okay.
There is something that Naaman did find. Naaman did find.
Yeah.
And
Naaman's good for that.
it's that the burglary rate of houses protected by Chentico was 0.01%, regardless of where the home was located. You could be in cities where the rate of burglary is so high that, you know, everyone has a camera at home, everyone has an alarm system, everyone has... And yet, that one or two Chentico clients there, nothing, never, ever. The neighbors could have been, you know, burglarized like twice, 3 times in the course of a year, but that one house sitting in the middle, nothing.
Nothing.
And yet you would expect, you know, this to drum up some sort of publicity, to like, word of mouth would have spread, and it would have made Chentico sort of a must-have. But no, instead they just they bled customers, but at a very slow pace. And by the end, when they folded, they had as many customers as they had when they started. So it sort of just made like a bell.
Mm-hmm.
And then they were like,
perfect
okay,
sine
we're
curve.
good. Yeah. Which is definitely not normal.
Mm-hmm. Very strange indeed.
Yeah.
Because you'd think that would spread through the business world pretty quickly and pretty efficiently.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting that they would get that kind of a Passover effect and it not spread. Very bizarre. It's almost like they want a specific client or specific type of client, or maybe they were just... In my research, would I have any information on how many of these business clients that Chentico had also had business dealings with the mother bank?
If you're talking about businesses, eventually it became 100%.
That's what I suspected.
As in, some of them might have like held on to their previous agreements with like other banks, but eventually, you know, as the contracts had to be renewed, switched over.
How convenient.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Almost as if it's just a subsidiary for the bank's clients. One would think. Anything else of note for this bank or for Seguridad Chantico?
Um, for the bank itself, nah. If you're searching about Chantico herself, I mean um her name apparently means she who dwells, or she who dwells in the house, or she who builds houses, sort of something along those lines. Um, and just so we keep with the overarching theme of this game, her name, she was also known by another name which roughly translates into Nine Dog, because she was once turned into a dog. Yet another canine in our story.
Interesting. Something else for us to cry havoc about. I think that was. I'm trying to think if there's anything. What else? But I don't know if I was going to be supposed to be doing any more research on the globe we brought. I'm trying to remember what else. I think that's everything we brought back with us from Malta, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
It was the orbs, the runes, and trying to figure out that rooster symbol.
Yeah, and the orbs are fairly big. The thing is, the orbs don't really, you don't really get anything out of researching them.
Mm-hmm.
None of the gods of the Greek underworld had something specifically about orbs. The only let's call it rule of three that you have, the three-headed dog Cerberus,
Mm-hmm.
but the
Three-headed
orbs
dog, the
lack
three
any.
orbs.
Huh?
Three-headed dog, three orbs. But that's about
Yeah.
the only continuity.
But like even the orbs, just they don't have any like markings that would indicate that they are like a symbol of the guardian of the underworld or anything. They're just there. They're round. They're heavy. They feel very powerful. There seems to be something inside, and if you wanted to have spent the rest of your 2 days trying to decipher more about the orbs,
Probably would have, because I
would-
think we pretty much exhausted everything that we could on the globe for now. So
then I would ask for an intelligence plus occult check.
intelligence plus occult. One success.
You know that the orbs are containers. They don't have anything inside, but you, by analyzing them, how they are, what they look like, what you feel when you're just in their mere presence, they are definitely a repository for something, but they cannot be opened.
Or at least cannot be opened by me.
Yeah.
First guess would be that whoever the orb is for is the one who most likely is able to implement it. Unless we could find maybe their Scion or someone else from the Greek pantheon that might have more of a running shot, but don't have that option at our disposal right now. So we'll have to just run with that for now while I wait for my esteemed colleagues to return.
Well, that would be when your colleagues return. You heard the telltale sound of people arriving, but it takes like a good half hour after this sound has occurred for the rest of the group to enter the house.
Oh, hey, Finbar.
Greetings. So you all unpacked from your journey this time. What'd you bring back this time? A bunch of keepsake Yu-Gi-Oh or more additions to your all's Pokemon, whatever collections that you're gathering for.
I mean, I wish. That would have been nice. No, we almost got, I think, eaten, and
Ethan, you say?
yeah, and you remember Yoshi, right?
Yeah, the guy about so tall came with you guys from when you decided to add armor to your memorabilia collection.
Yeah. You know what? Goddamn piece of shit. That's what.
You say now. So what gave you clues to that idea?
Oh, he said it. He said that. Yeah, exactly. That the reason he didn't have that armor because his godly father forsook him, and he decided to get that power back by worse means.
So the prodigal son, the older of the prodigal sons gets his armor back the sneaky way.
Yes, so we stole that armor for him. He has it, and apparently some sort of vendetta against me. I don't know. I thought we were doing the right thing, but you know how that goes.
So Abel became Cain on y'all, and now he's out there roaming around.
Yeah, well, we talked to Choppa, and
are we going to have to put up some kind of ward or deflector shield or something like that to keep him out?
He's taking care of it. I think it's just a
or do we just need to change the locks?
It acts like a ban list of some sort. We can have him not appear again. So I guess that's useful for next time, but we did get this thing off of a what was it? She'll look at Kieran. Or Sasha or something like that. What's the big cat? Big
tiger thing.
Big tiger. Oh, yeah, that's what.
A Rakshasa.
Yes,
I've read about them in my studies.
Well, yeah, that was
part tiger, part human. Likes to come back. Kind of hard to kill off because it keeps coming back again.
Wait, what?
I'm sorry. Repeat that last part.
Isn't that what one of the things that Rakshasas are known for? When you kill them off, they'll come back after a while.
Did not know that. Karen, oh no.
Well, that's some kind of bullshit.
That's like,
Cool.
I mean, it can't follow us or anything, right? Like, we leave it there and it just stays there, right?
Well, if I remember my occult study, pardon the word, this is what they used to call it when I went to school, my Oriental occult studies. But if I remember right, Rakshasas not only will come back after they're dead, they kind of have a vendetta towards the people that killed them off in the first place.
Really?
I hate it
Oh,
here.
well, that's fun. Oh, that's lots of fun. Sure.
So guess what?
Great.
You're gonna have a pet kitty following you around for a while.
Thanks.
No.
So, out of game, there are many types of Rakshasas.
It just
This would be the kind that he's studied about.
Yeah, that's it. Because it's also used as an umbrella term for what you could call, let's put them in Scion terms, Titan spawns.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Hindu Titan spawns are all known as Rakshasa.
Okay.
good.
Cool.
But there are also the other Rakshasa who are these like cannibal like man-eater sort of shape-shifting, half human, half. They say tiger, but like if they existed in other countries, they would have basically be merged with like whatever giant predatory cat was there.
Okay, good
Um,
stuff.
But yeah. So if you're lucky, it's just someone that's as powerful as you. If you're unlucky, it's someone that more powerful as you that cannot be killed unless you do something very specific. But this is all meta knowledge. I just want to let y'all know, because there's no real way to know that at the moment.
I mean, he
Oh, to
doesn't
make
know.
you two feel better, I was the one who dealt the killing blow, so maybe they'll let you off easily.
Sure, but Dee's got his doodad. So I mean, like,
Oh yeah,
Speaking of doodads, what have you got there?
Yeah, some sort of-
As I switch glasses.
some well, didn't make any favors with it, but we took it. We took this from it. Just left once it disappeared. It's like some sort of fist weapon. I did look inside it, and when I did, it gave me a mental image of the Rakshasa in there. So
Oh.
that's not great, but figured.
Well, this could
What
be
it is.
interesting. I wonder if it's something like what they used to call a phylactery or something like that. We'll have to take a look at it and see.
Well, yeah, you won't need a roll for that one, actually. The Bagnak is fairly easy to... The moment you touch it, you sort of already know what it is in a weird subconscious way, if you will.
Mhm.
It's not quite a phylactery in the sense that there is a soul inside. It's more that it is, let's call it the physical the physical realization of that Rakshasa's soul. It's basically its essence given form. It is the Rakshasa. That claw, that tiger claw weapon is the Rakshasa you killed. But at the same time, not really. It's like a piece of it. But you can call upon it to basically sort of gain, very temporarily, some of the same abilities it had. Now, every time you will use it, just like the cursed monkey paw, one of the blades will break. You don't know what's going to happen when all 4 blades have broken.
So that's what you have here. So for a limited time only, you've got something you can fight with, my dear. Should you choose to use it.
Cool. Because that's what I like. That's what I'm known for. Getting into fights.
Yes, of course. All right, then. Well, I've been doing some research of my own here, and I give them all the information that I've got about the rooster symbol and the bank and Securidad Chantico.
Funny thing about that. So funny thing about that rooster emblem. I saw it on someone.
Oh, really?
Who, yeah, they had called me. I have Baiji, who, well, actually did a pretty good job and found the people I was looking for. It's just that he happened to also get caught by them.
He found them, and then they found him.
Yeah. So that's going to be my next project, is chasing them down. I feel like they declared war, and I think I'm going to wage it.
Are you going to need allies in this war of yours?
Well, yes, and I feel that there is something in it for you, in that they will probably have the keys or the items that we need in order to unlock whatever it is in these crates and crystals and whatnot.
Well, do you have a plan in mind?
Yeah, I do. And it's going to involve doing what we do best.
Rushing headlong into things and causing havoc?
Well, no,
Since
just
when have we ever done
antagonizing
that?
people.
D?
He does that. It does that exactly thing. Yeah.
So, we should we'll use our company to research and find their possible locations, and we're going to rob them. They're smuggling artifacts all around, so we're just going to keep robbing them until they decide enough is enough and start throwing down.
I see. Well, I guess we may get a taste on how good this security system that their parent this group has been using. Be interesting to find out why it has a 0.01% failure rate. Kind of makes me wonder.
Well, if it makes you feel better, I feel like we're that 1%, so.
If not, we'll barge in and find out one way or the other, most likely. Curious to find out. Because I find it quite interesting for such a vast system that it wasn't used, that it wasn't so highly promoted. You'd think that they would. Unless it's used for protecting certain types of valuables, along the lines of the stuff that we're trying to research and find out about.
And Eddie is just going to slap his hands on his knees. Who's ready to burgle some people?
Well, I'm a little bit. All this research has been good, but I need to get out and stretch my legs a little bit.
All right.
Good. Yes, our tracker for burgling things is very, very good. But let's do it.
I mean, you did pull one off.
Yeah. Repercussions
Two.
did rear their ugly head last session. Just now. So yeah, good.
I mean, we stole an entire company.
With zero repercussions. I mean,
Also by murdering the CEO, but
This is coming from the non-trickster Scion is maybe having second thoughts about all the burglary we're doing.
Well, that's what happens when you have two trickster sides.
Yeah.
And when you do research in archaeology, that's a sense intellectual burglaring, I guess, in a sense.
Or real burglary. Or actual burglary. Who knows? Yeah.
then let us adjourn for a quick break. And when we come back, let's talk heist.
Good.
Or as Critwitch says, murder. Because who knows how that's going to turn out.
We have it. Murder. There.
We haven't murdered anybody.
He certainly hasn't murdered anybody.
Tell that to Willem Dafoe. We'll be right back, everyone.
I did not murder. Like,
Hey, we're back. Back at the cottage, a plan was hatched. Or at least an idea was given. We'll skip ahead to the group standing around the coffee table in the living room, looking at Eddie for what to do, or what his idea is.
So I think he's going to call a meeting with, in the Queen's Guard, with some of the better troubleshooters in the department. Might have some intel.
Okay. So you're doing this in town?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, because you can't really do it at the house if you're trying to invite mortals. So at the Queen's Guard office, there are 3, let's call them veteran, of back when Ulfer was in charge. Those 3 employees did not side with him to the end. Like, the moment there was a change in leadership, they were like, yeah, sure. You know, a job is a job is a job. We're loyal to whoever signs our paycheck. Aside from your troubleshooters, who else do you have? Who have you invited?
Well, I think Finbar will be there too, obviously, and Dee and Kieran. We're keeping the circle a little tight.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So, what's up, boss?
So, we've been running into a bit of a trouble with one of our competitors. And, well, the long and short of it is that they have taken one of our employees, and we decided it would be in our best interest if we were to resolve the issue without bringing in the authorities.
They look to each other. The 3 of them, by the way, 2 men and a woman. The one of the guys, you think, well, you know, he's the one with the most seniority in the company, is a Korean man. The other person, younger, like among the more recent employees before Ulfer passed away, let's say. But has an excellent track record. A very much a what's the word? An overachiever.
Go get her.
Yeah. And a black woman who's been there for a while, but she used to work in Europe and was, brought back stateside a little bit before Ulfer passed away. And by the way, none of them smell of the divine. So when you mention, we don't want the authorities to be in the know. Yeah, they look to each other. They nod. They get what you're hinting at.
No, I'm not going to endanger any of your lives here. We just really need more information and assessment of what's going on in the field. Finbar can brief you on this group that we are being targeted by, and I basically need to. Well, we're going to take something of theirs, and I'm looking for a nice
Attention getter.
attractive target. Yes.
All right, y'all are going to have your work cut out for you. And here's some of the research I've done already. It's a company that doesn't seem to be actively in business any longer, but definitely has been a competitor, at least in not too distant past and all that. It's a group called Seguridad Chantico.
Do you have? Because I'm imagining this, heist scene.
And
I
I give
figure you
them-
have like folders or like
Yeah,
a
I give them-
PowerPoint presentation.
Yeah,
or-
I'm the good consistent professor here, dispenser of knowledge. I have the three ring binder notebooks that have all the information, one for each one, and all that. And I go through the quick PowerPoint slide of all the information that I have to this point. Then after I finish this historical lecture, then I turn to them, and that's what I've been able to find so far.
The oldest employee, the Korean guy, the name of Sungjin. He says, tapping like one of the, let's say, like folder that or handouts that you've passed with the Chentico logo and everything. He's like, didn't they go completely under?
Supposedly I thought that as well, but when I did some digging in, maybe you'll be able to find more conclusive information than I was able to. But it looks like the business's charter per se was never completely legally dissolved. It just looks like they stopped doing business at least above the counter. But we have suspicions that they never really went away.
Because I remember, and he looks to Eddie. I remember they approached me. That was like, what? In 99, I think. Yeah, I turned them down. Stevenson was paying a whole lot more. But I thought they were, I don't know, beneath our notice? Well, I know I shouldn't ask too many questions, but, why are we hitting someone who's, I mean, frankly, beneath us, right?
Well, that's what they appear to be on the surface, but yeah, I think it's pretty clear that not everything is as it seems. And, well, we can't let some upstart just take one of our people and not expect any consequences.
I didn't know they did in kidnapping, but yeah, no. Shit, they got one of us. We're gonna get them back. So this convoy. What is it? Where is it? How long do we have to prep?
I'm tempted to say as much time as you need, but I think because of the dealing, since we're dealing with a living, breathing person that we're going to need to get out of this, probably the faster the better. But we also want to make sure we're complete. I would say, how much do we want to give? 3 days? 7? How much lead time do you want us? How much time do you want them to have, Eddie?
3 days.
So 3 days to find, extract, and bring back Mr. Beiji.
No, 3 days to find them. The 4 of us are going to go in and extract them ourselves.
Oh, recon. Okay.
No, you're doing the ground. We're going to do the groundwork. You're doing the back. You're the background. You're the golden retriever. We're the ones carrying the shotgun to shoot the pheasant.
We can do that. We can do that provided a good skill check. So what I'll ask before I roll for them, and then we'll know, by the result how well it went. You've prepped a lot of material. You've done a lot of stuff. So I would like for Finbar to roll cunning plus academics, and for Eddie to roll cunning and leadership. Any success that you have past the first is going to be translated into an enhancement to them. So basically, the more well done the prep was, the better they will be at it. Oh, all right. So that's already 3 enhancements.
Yeah,
4
nice.
enhancements.
Shit.
All right. And they are going to roll. Let's go with this. Cunning and subterfuge. All right. They gather their stuff. They will need all 3 days to find them. In fact, I'd say they will need about 56 hours. So you're you're at the start of the 3rd day. You have pretty much the whole day. Is there anything that the group wants to do during those 3 days, or do we skip ahead to the result? Okay. They will send you. They will actually call Eddie 3 days later. It is 24, 48. It's 5 p.m. Middle of rush hour in Niantic. And you hear in the background of this phone call the telltale sound of a car engine going full speed. We found Mr. Bacon. Boss, there's just been a problem. They found us. And they're moving Bacon away. We're tailing them, but there's no telling if we're going to be able to reach where they are. We're not heavily armed. They did not seem to have any weapons, but they were carrying some... I think they're gun cases. We're moving out of Niantic. Please advise. They are
Right, drop your drop a location in the drop a location pin, and we're going to get to you.
They are basically fleeing south of College Town, and they're going towards the Way In Motel. So they're basically going south, and will eventually leave Niantic completely.
All right. Oh, it's time to get rolling. He's going to grab his keys and the fastest car that he has on hand.
Wasn't that... Didn't you have like two
Might have been
cars?
an Audi. Might have been an Audi. The Audi rental that he probably stole.
Yes, from Ireland? No, Ireland you were driven.
No, it was Finbar's academic colleague.
Yes.
That guy's Audi rental.
Professor. Morgan.
Audi.
What's his face? Yeah. I think I should create a page in our Legend Keeper for like your garage. It's
Henry Morgan.
Henry Morgan.
Yeah.
All right. I hop in the Audi. Who's following? Who's hopping in? Is it Eddie by himself or?
Dee will be in the Audi.
All right. Against probably her best judgment.
Yeah.
She jumps in. Kieran Finbar, do you...
Does an Audi not have room for all of us? I've never been in an Audi.
It's a sedan, so there's room for 5.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess we would all be unless you wanted me to come in a separate vehicle.
Wait,
This
is it...
vehicle's going to be going fast.
I don't think you would be able to keep up.
This is going to go fast.
I think it was in this game, right? Or was it in Cyberpunk that we had like an Audi or a BMW with 4 doors? And everyone was making fun of it. The Porsche with 4 doors.
Yeah.
4-door Porsche.
Wasn't this one? Yeah, it's like I'm buying a sports car, but also not. Everyone hops in the car.
Yeah.
Let's change this soundtrack. You drive out of the Terra Incognita. And you know that you're several hours away from Niantic normally. If you want to reach more or less the Way In Motel rather quickly, you're probably gonna have to use some of your powers, Eddie.
Yeah, so I was thinking he would drive the car and use the pocket dimension to teleport them somewhere on the road, maybe on an intercept course.
Okay.
He would be studying the location pin and the direction that they're going and try to pinpoint the best place to...
So, out of game, we all know that Niantic is not a city that exists for real, but we said it was somewhere in the eastern seaboard. So I will pick... Oh. Okay. They are leaving Niantic. Once they pass the Way-In Motel, they will eventually jump onto I-93. Which goes, north-south. They're probably, let's say, for fun. There is an intercept that you could take with another highway. It would bring you an unknown amount of time outside of Niantic because the place doesn't really exist. But let's say an hour out of Niantic. And it would get you close to let's go with Concord
Okay.
in New Hampshire.
New Hampshire.
Let's say. So there are like multiple highways meeting in Concord. You could probably appear somewhere nearby. And then, even if they were to swerve away, you'd be able to catch up or something. Is that good?
Yep.
Okay. So, pedal to the metal. Drive out from the Terra Incognita. Blink of an eye. Oh yeah, right. There's no asphalt in the Terra Incognita, by the way. And it now just dawns on you every time that you leave with one of your cars that, that screws up the grass everywhere. And Choppa just basically, fixes it after you every time. Oh, did we lose Kieran?
Oh no,
My mic came undone. Give me just a second.
Okay, yeah, no problem.
She got car sick. I'm helping her at the window.
Now we did. Our cameras are going to be a little wonky. Hello, everyone.
A little bit.
I can still be seen. So you rush out of the Terra Incognita, drive onto the highway, the grass giving way onto solid asphalt pavement. The tires screech, and you drive like slightly north. If the camera was to pan out, you would notice farther away, we're about a half hour from where you are, so let's say like about 30 miles. The two other cars. There's not a huge amount of traffic, even though we are 5:30 in the afternoon on a weekday. We're in the middle of almost nowhere. There are many drivers, but not enough to say that it is like, a complete traffic jam. The two cars are swerving and slaloming between the other drivers. The Chantico group has an armored van. Like a, what's their name? Is it like the Western Union vans?
Mm-hmm.
Basically.
Yep.
And
Bridge truck.
yeah, and your three troubleshooters are following, two in one car, and one, the senior, Sungjim, is in on a motorcycle. You will eventually meet up with them. And as that happens, so the moment you see the armored truck, you're, of course, driving on the, opposite side of the highway. But the moment you see it in the distance, Eddie, what do you do? or everybody else. If I mean you're sitting in the car, but still
Right.
do so.
So I can prepare myself. Eddie, what's the plan?
I'm going to stop the van.
Yes. How? How is the important
yeah.
part?
Yeah, so he stops the car and says, "Okay, everybody, you should probably get out." And he blocks off half the road, and he's going to stand in the other open section of the road and basically wait for the van to try to hit him.
So you're basically walking into oncoming traffic, is what you're saying.
The car is. This is ghost driving at this point. Yeah.
He's just going to cause a traffic jam.
Yeah.
Yeah, mundane drivers are having the hardest time of their lives trying to avoid you. Because what the hell, there's someone that just showed up in the middle of the road. Which also makes me think that I should do something like this. Dexterity plus pilot. Ah! There's no pileup from
Good.
the mortal drivers.
But
you see the armored van coming in, and it goes in to swerve to avoid you. If they're good enough drivers, you notice that they could probably manage to avoid you, go onto the there's no ditch on this side, so past the like shoulder, they could just drive onto the grass, avoid you, and potentially keep going.
So could we just say that Eddie had pumped his shoes and activated his...
You definitely have, like, let's say, like 5 actions that you can take before we get to the fateful moment. So yes, pumping your shoes is definitely possible.
He's also going to remove his jacket and shirt and fold it neatly and put it to the side.
Okay.
And he's also going to imbue a point of legend into a heavy lifter.
Okay, remind me what it does again.
Oh no.
Basically, it's add enhancement 3 on rolls to lift or carry heavy objects.
Yeah, and
no.
you have epic strength. Okay. Anything else while I frantically
What's the
look
heaviest
for
thing?
epic strength?
Yeah. What's the heaviest thing around?
Besides the Audi?
Is it the Audi?
Probably the Audi.
The Audi. Just.
I mean, the
do it,
Audi
do
are
it,
just
do
about.
It, do it.
You know what? There is a there's a
Oh my
Karen
God.
driving a Subaru SUV.
Wait.
Wait, hang on.
What about the median
James
thing?
Bacon on the? Is James Bacon in this truck?
According to Sungjin, yeah.
Okay, we're not going to throw something at the truck and.
There's two. Is it just one truck, or are there like 2 trucks that they have?
No,
Is it a
it's
convoy?
One, no,
Okay, it's one. Okay, it's just
armored
one.
truck.
Okay.
Just one.
Okay.
Yeah, if you were to throw a car at the truck, that would be probably cause an enormous amount of damage.
It
However,
would get, he would be technically dead.
you could just decide to pick up like one of the concrete dividers and throw that. It's less heavy than a car. It would definitely wreck the front of the armored car.
I think Eddie is just going to decide to try to
Punch it.
catch the armored van as it's passing, and
Do the Hellboy punch?
no, I don't think we're going to do the Hellboy punch. We're just going to lift it up and then turn it upside down onto the median.
Good.
Okay. And you have +1 scale for lifting, breaking, or carrying large object, which means that I need to check the scale. Scale, where are you, Scale? Because you might not need a roll, or you might need a roll.
I mean, I feel like it is a challenge to try to
timing.
catch.
Yeah,
and
it's like
lift
timing.
Oh yeah, it's just depending on the scale that you're on. So, because of your epic strength, sometimes there are things that you can do now that do not require a roll. That's how strong you are.
Oh, okay.
But I don't know if you against a truck works. So I need... Where's my scale? Sheet. There was a very nice table that helped that helped looking into scales. But you know what? We'll do the roll, and worst case scenario, if I find it and you fail, we'll just be able to readjust accordingly. We're definitely going to go might. And you said you wanted to grab the car and oh, found it. No, you would need a scale 2 for no check. So
Okay.
however, you do get an additional are they dice? Enhancement, +2 enhancement to your roll.
So 5 in all?
Might plus... Decide between athletics and close combat.
I'll do athletics.
Alright, and then add... You're gonna have 2 enhancements added to that. Just because of the scale. And then your heavy lifter also gave you 3, I believe?
Yes.
So that's an automatic +5 if you succeed. So that's an 8 successes. Whatever
Hell yeah.
you want
Yes.
happens. In front of a whole lot of people jammed in traffic that you've caused.
Yeah.
So what does it look like?
So you'll see him standing there, and he sees the van trying to cut into the median to avoid him, but he slides over to catch it, and you'll see him get pushed back a little bit. His heels are digging into the grass and leaving a mark before the truck just lifts up vertically into the air, and you just hear this whining of the engine now that it has no work and the wheels are completely off the ground. And you're just going to see it twist and land upside down in front of him.
There's a loud crash, followed by the muffled screams, shouts, and moans of pain from the people inside the truck. It's fuming. And you've even busted like part of the door open.
Finbar will quickly run to the back door, pull old Lou from the sling that he carries on his back, and use it not to initially bash the door, but as a pry bar to get the door the rest of the way open.
Okay. What about Kieran and Kieran D and Eddie actually? Because Eddie, you flipped it over, but what is your intention after that?
The next thing Eddie is going to do is rip the doors off the driver's side and pull out the driver.
You drag the guy out. He's bleeding from his forehead. Other than that, when you came to drag him out, he was like frantically trying to undo his seatbelt. You don't care. You just ripped him out of the seat.
Right.
There is a co-pilot. There's someone riding shotgun, but they are unconscious. Finbar will go during that time in back of the van, put the shillelagh, and then use it to pop open the door. It's busted enough, and I mean the shillelagh is magical, so it will not break. But it's busted just enough that you can sort of easily break the other lock on it, using the bat as a crowbar, basically.
Exactly.
The door will pop open. You will notice inside there are 5 men dressed in sort of black, like 3-piece suits. They're upside down, a little confused, a little hurt. And under them all is Mr. Bacon trying to crawl out from under a pile of 5 people.
I'll grab a hold of his arm or leg, whichever appendage is within the nearest reach, and grab him and pull him out from underneath.
Okay. Well, by the end of, let's say, this turn, you can grab his hand, but that's it for now.
Right.
I'll need to know what Dee and Kieran intend to do.
Just let you know what my intentions are.
I think we're just waiting to see if there's anything we can do.
Yeah, we're just
Okay.
we're support at this moment in case things need to be finessed a little bit.
Well, then from a distance, you can see that a few people have started getting out of their cars and looking at the site of the accident. And some are whipping out their phones.
Oh, shit.
Could we get a little privacy here?
Yeah. Let's see if we can try and get some privacy here. Oh, no.
How many people are getting out?
Yeah, how many?
A dozen for now. I mean, everyone sort of stopped on the highway when they saw this guy just walk on and take his clothes off.
Just his shirt, not all of his clothes.
Well, yeah, but they don't know that you were just taking off your shirt. So many of them stopped, creating sort of this blockage. They've gotten out of their cars, so like so long as they don't go back in and drive away, all of the oncoming traffic is also going to stop. So a dozen for now. Eddie, you are dragging the driver out. He tries to like grab a hold of your arm and free himself, but to no avail. What do you do?
Hey, where's your phone? I want you to call your boss for me right now.
Wait, what? No! Get off of me!
It wasn't a request. And I think we're gonna use um, we're gonna use the epic strength as a means of intimidation in order to get this person to comply.
What's your might score?
It's a 5.
He complies.
Yeah.
He grabs his phone out, locks it. You see his finger hover over the 9 for just a bit too long. But then he starts typing a different phone number. You notice as he dials, and between the moment where he punches the button to start the call and put his phone up against his ear, you know how you can see the name of your contact? His is Mommy. And he puts the phone up against his ear and then looks at you. He goes, "What do you want me to say again?"
You should tell him that Eddie is on the line for him.
Her. Hi. Yes. I know I shouldn't. I know, but it's. Mother, there's someone I think you should speak to. And he hangs you the phone, shaking all the while.
Yeah. He's going to turn on FaceTime and put it into selfie mode with the truck behind him.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, I guess you weren't the person I was expecting, but I feel that we should get properly acquainted.
The other side does not have a camera on at the moment, but just by the voice, you can feel this sort of almost otherworldly majesty to it. This is not a person you say no to. Ever. I take it you're Mr. Kahele, aren't you?
Yeah, that is what I go by these days. Yes.
You're a very special boy, Eddie. I had plans for you, you know. We could have been a family, you and I. But, well, it seems that fate ripped the rug right under me. I see the car, I see the truck. What do you intend to do with my children?
Oh, we're going to extract a lot of information from them. And then I don't think we're even. So I'm going to take a few more of your things. But it's a hard pass on the whole family thing. Despite what Dom Toretto says, I think family is a little overrated.
Childish tantrum, I see. If you want the toys that are in the car, they're all yours. But I would ask this one thing of you. Can we meet?
I'll think about it the next time I rob one of your armored vans.
Good then. And she hangs up. The driver is like was staring at you the whole time. Just goes, "What are you gonna do to me?"
He shows the phone, and he's going to turn and launch it into orbit.
Come down again.
Yep.
Well, if it doesn't burn up from the reentry.
Like, you and I are going to have a little chat because, I don't think there's enough there in this armored van to cover the, how do I put it? Baishi, what's that word for the trauma that you're experiencing? The compensation for that trauma that we're going to need to extract from these people.
What? The word for trauma is trauma, boss. You mean
Mental
payback?
anguish and damages, I believe, is the phraseology you're looking for, my friend.
Thank you. So there isn't enough in this van to cover that. So we're going to have a chat about some of your other possessions and some of your mother's things. Also, some details about your mother because this family thing, I'm going to completely blow up. You see, let me tell you a brief story about some of the folks that you're working with. They used to run with me. We used to be a pretty good stunt team that did a lot of really cool, cutting edge movies. But they were stealing from people, and then they made me the fall guy. So that's made me fairly vengeful, and now I actually have some power to do something about it. So you, my friend, are going to help me find that vengeance and make me and my friends even richer.
Can't I just give you their whereabouts?
Oh yes, but
I don't
I
want to
am a
be
little bit on
hurt.
the green. Oh no! As long as you comply, you're not going to get hurt. Isn't that right, Kieran? We never
Yeah.
hurt people who actually listen to what we say.
Nah. We're sweet as lambs.
Okay. Okay. Here, outside. And by this time,
Yeah,
by the way,
no.
James
Yeah.
Bacon has gotten out of the car, Shubaichi, and the others have also sort of crawled out, concussed. Two of them just rolled on their backs and almost passed out. But 2 seconds, Eddie. The other two are reaching as they see Eddie, not Eddie, but Finbar. They are reaching inside their jacket for something.
All right, time to play a little baseball here.
Can you roll? We'll do just one might plus close combat roll.
Might. Close combat. Alrighty. Ah.
No.
Swing and a miss.
Yeah, you swing with Oh no, wait. Your shillelagh has something though, doesn't it?
Hang on. Let me pull it up
The
here.
shillelagh has. Oh, it's a +1 enhancement. Oh no, actually +1 to close combat rolls. So you get to roll an additional die. Just a single D10.
D10. That's what I was trying to remember. It's
Come
D10
on.
or D20.
Nah.
Damn
So
it.
yeah, as you go to swing at them, they move out of the way with a certain amount of grace. Not the best. They're not stuntmen. They're not acrobats, but they seem to be just good enough fighters. Or maybe it was that your swing was very telegraphed.
Yeah.
But they dodged out of the way, and they retrieved guns from their jacket. And they sort of don't really know what happened at the front of the car. So one of them, keeping you in his sight, just briefly looks over his shoulder and shouts to Eddie, "Let him go or the old man gets it."
I mean, he's not really gonna go anywhere. He can't. He can't even add 2 + 2.
"What are you talking about?" the driver says. Right now, it's a standoff. None of the two armed individuals seem to really want to shoot at Finbar. So if technically it would be like your turn, Scions.
Mhm.
Basically they're not doing anything on their turn. They're just waiting to see what you guys are going to do. So we're gonna go around. If you want, kind of the same order we did. So Eddie, Finbar, Kieran D. What do you do? Eddie, you still have the driver in your grasp. He's scared, confused, mostly scared. The other two are, like, let's say about 8 feet away from you, standing almost shoulder to shoulder. Their backs turned to you, looking at Finbar.
How close is the truck to them?
I mean,
We're inside.
they crawled out
Don't worry.
and then they sidestepped Finbar, so within arm's reach of one of them for sure, and the other is standing just on the opposite side of him. So, I don't know, 3 feet to the closest and maybe 5 feet from the other.
Can I kick the truck into them to knock them over?
Yeah, that would require a check. You're
Okay.
doing it with 1 foot. Might athletics. You've got 2 successes. Question for you. Do you want to injure them, or do you want to make them just fall on the ground? And lose their... Basically, do you want drop prone and disarm, or do you want to hurt them with it?
Prone and disarm.
Okay. So yeah, as they're waiting for an answer or a move from either Finbar or Eddie, Finbar, you see just Eddie kick the front of the car. The armored truck spins around, and the back end of it whacks one guy, and then the door you propped open with the momentum hits the other. They're both knocked to the ground, their pistols clattering away on the highway. The driver just goes, "Oh shit!" Finbar, what do you do?
All right. How far away did the guns get knocked away as far as from me?
You could grab both in your turn if you wanted. That could
Okay,
be your
I would
entire turn, but you could just like walk to the guns one by one and pick them up.
Yeah, I will gather them and then come back holding them and start walking towards the guys.
Okay.
And I'd say, check if they've got cuffs, put them to use. I say towards D and or Kieran.
Well, speaking of D and Kieran, what are you doing?
Could we? I mean, they've got this. Should we clear out the people?
Yeah, sure. Let's see if we can
Oh,
get a little less attention on this. So
There are cars flying. So maybe it's for their own good. We need to go.
yeah, a little less participation in this particular.
Yeah.
Okay. So let me try something. I'm gonna take out my key. And so, question: as long as it's touching me, yeah, Finbar, exactly. As long as it's touching me, can it still be an illusion even if it's not in my hand?
People. You know what? Let's. It can, but it needs to be an object that fits in one hand.
I was gonna make it into a baseball cap that says director across the front.
That works.
All right.
So what is? It's a key. So you're just like
You're
Just
putting the
like
key on your
we're
head.
putting the
Yeah,
key
yeah.
on your head. You're just like this is the key.
My cute hair accessory. Like so I've got my Ron Howard baseball cap that says director across the front.
Mhm.
So I'll go like to it around in front of the van to like where all the people are. He's like, please, if we could get everybody to clear out a little bit, we're about to have some pyrotechnics. We thank you very much for your participation. You've been wonderful extras for our movie, and be sure to catch it in theaters because you're going to want to see your performances, but it is going to get a little bit more dangerous. So if you could clear out the area, I would be really appreciative. We're supposed to have crews here to do this, to clear out the area beforehand, but they got sidetracked. They should be here in the next couple of minutes to help anyone who needs help clearing out, but we just don't want anything to fly off and hit you. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think D is acting as a like assistant. Like, okay, everyone needs to go. This is a close set. If you don't go now, we're gonna have to have you all fill out paperwork, and you don't want to spend your entire day following. So everybody, it's time to go. It's time to go.
Paperwork's just the worst.
So we'll start with D because you're helping. Let's go with manipulation subterfuge.
Yeah.
Oh,
nice.
So you're going to add 5 successes as enhancements to Kieran, and Kieran.
D is being very forceful with these people. You have to go back.
Kieran, I'll give you the choice between presence and manipulation.
Okay.
But it is subterfuge. Either presence, because like just by using presence would mean like you're acting the part of a director, a movie set director, and you're hoping that people buy it in regardless of what you say. Manipulation would be like banking more on what you've said than people taking you at face value.
And I get a +5?
You get the +5 if you have at least 1 success.
Okay, I'm going to do
they're
presence subterfuge.
Okay.
And all right.
And that's 8 successes total. Jesus.
Hell yeah.
They believe you. Hook, line, and sinker. Some of them remain like a few minutes longer, maybe like a minute or two. But then, as you repeat that, like, they have to go, they have to leave. They end
Dee's
up.
doing that. Dee's doing that. Her wireless interface. So like, if people are staying with us, like no, and she'll point it like off. The camera's off. Time to leave. No.
You've got so many successes that I don't think. I don't think any of them will wonder if why there's no cameras.
State of the art filming. It's like handheld.
Yeah.
We're going for 3D realism. Only filmed on a camera.
But
Got a camera. It's in the car. You see the points to the Audi.
The Audi.
Inside.
Yeah.
Do you have any abilities, Kieran, that allows you to lie on a bigger scale?
I have different things that allows me to lie on a bigger scale. There's deception purview, which means characters face +3 complication on trying to see if I'm lying. Then I have walk unnoticed, which makes it impossible to remember my face.
Nah, that's fine.
Wasn't me, but that's not really what I'm doing. What else do I have?
It's probably not Blather and Sky.
No.
Let me just check smoke and mirrors.
That's
No,
if I
okay, that's
like
it,
if someone
yeah.
tries to kill me. Yeah.
Okay, so that means that while you do influence everyone around,
Mhm.
I will need to roll.
I mean, at this point, I think they'll have to get an 11 to
God,
see that we're lying.
We are very good bullshitters.
Yes, they would need an 11, but just in case, resolve culture in this case. Yeah, 3. Some of them will actually be so taken in by what's happening that they will make researches about you, about the potential of a film being here. Like they've turned almost like obsessed with knowing what this is.
Oh no.
They'll IMDb, they'll Wikipedia, they'll Google, what kind of movie could be filmed here. But that's a problem for future you.
It makes us a persona if you want to like
My director persona. Oh,
I mean, Wikipedia can do just like we'll just make one. It's
make
like,
myself an IMDb page.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna go back to
all you have to do is put like so and so in production. It's like it might not ever come out. It just has to be like
It's true.
Just a say in production.
everything's in production forever, and then like after a few years, you just bump one to like canceled.
Yeah.
Nothing ever comes out. But we'll go back to our movie set with Eddie and Finbar. The driver, hearing Kieran just shout this out, like, "Is it a movie? Am I being pranked? What's going on?"
Yeah, you are. Mom sold you out. Anyway, Eddie is just gonna look up and try to find where the troubleshooters are.
Oh yeah, I forgot to mention them. The troubleshooters parked farther away, and they were blocking some of the traffic coming in. You don't know which excuse they gave, but yeah, they were sort of to make sure that there were no cars driving by the lot of you while this was happening. You do notice, however, that Aoife, the black woman who was in the car with Bert, of the three of them, She has a weapon out. She's not showing it. She's got her back turned to the rest of the traffic. But you can see that she's standing up with like her hands like crossed over around like her waist. But there's a gun in her hand. A rather long pistol. If you want to call her out, like to call her to you, you can. The other two are like sort of busy.
Eddie is just going to give an okay signal and wave her to come forward.
She comes forward. She hides what you clearly see now as a Desert Eagle back into a big holster inside her leather coat. Much as a leather jacket, it's like a motorcycle jacket, if you will.
Nice work. We're about wrapping things up here. We should probably get out before the authorities come around. But these people here, and he points to the two that tried to shoot at Finbar and the driver. We're going to detain these folks, and we're going to have a nice chat with them back at the office.
She looks at them. She doesn't even ask. She asks one question, which is something that you were not maybe expecting. She says, "Same place as usual?" As if you know where Ulfer used to hide prisoners before. And also, do we give the same reason?
No, take them to the new secured facility.
And what do we tell the public? I mean, families. Should anyone inquire?
They will be released as soon as they have provided full cooperation. Once production of our movie ends.
She looks around, and her being mortal, sees Kieran with the director's cap on, and Dee telling people to move away, and she goes, "Huh. You're very prepared. I like that." And she'll go and she has zip ties on her that she takes out of her pocket. Will zip tie the two that are like a bit concussed, the driver. She pats them down. None of them are armed anymore. The driver didn't have anything, but the two guys also had like a spare magazine. But there's also the three other who are completely passed out. Like, what do you want to do with them? Because in total, there were 7 people in this van.
Oh.
So right now, the 3 that were awake, you've taken. There were 3 more in the back. Yeah, 3 more in the back, yeah. Actually, 2 in the back and 1 shotgun. What do you want to do with them?
Eddie is going to pile them back into the back of the van. And then he's going to seal the door, then lift the van up and put it door downward.
Continue.
Next time.
Yeah, and we'll just let the authorities sort that one out.
You lift the van, you flip it up, and we'll end our session today on that.
Next time Eddie does something like this, I want Eddie to pick it up by the back and shake it. Like, just shake the people off. Just like, shh.
All fine and good. doing the excuse of the movie set is okay, but that last thing, Eddie.
Oh, what?
Okay, I'll have to look up on it, but you might have just fate bound the troubleshooters to you.
I mean,
Because
There's a way to fix
you
that,
flipped
you know?
an
I mean, there are
armored
worse.
car.
I mean,
Yeah, they've seen your divine
I mean, there are
powers in
worse
action.
things to
So
be like.
they're now they're now security level 6.
And that's fine. I mean, they're competent, so that's a
mean-
big step up from JT.
I mean, like, they show your new boss kicks ass. I mean, that's like, like.
He lifted an armored van like it was nothing and put it back on its wheels.
I mean, that should be incentive. It's power.
Well, it's also incentive to never speak ill about the boss. Like,
Yeah,
they're
right.
not going to talk shit. But if you had spent a point of legend, Eddie, you'll regain it. And because of what the scene was like and everything, everyone else, you also regain a point of legend. If all of your legend were already full to all of you, you'll have 1 temporary legend point for next week.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
We have to do something else, just bonkers, just to make the most out of it.
I mean, I can summon plants again if we want.
I mean, it might be motivation on my part, but also, no, it's things are happening. There were witnesses. They believe in something mundane for now, but fate has a lot in store for you.
If we put Eddie as working as a stuntman on this in IMDb, I mean, legit has
Eddie
credits.
already has an
credentials.
IMDb,
Yeah,
doesn't he?
Yeah, pretty much.
credentials.
So-
Yeah.
We just needed to tell him to knock off a little bit on the steroids a little bit.
Hey,
Yeah.
he's between cycles.
Then you will have a lot of questions from a lot of professional athletes going like, okay, what do you take and where can I get it?
Throw cards.
Got it right here.
movie
Spin bar
magic,
secret
man.
formula.
It's like that thing. It's like how they Disneyland, they have that Spider-Man that's like robotic and like hits a wall. That's that sort of thing. That's what that's like, right?
Yeah. So, on that note, thank you everyone for coming. Thank you players for taking time off your Saturday afternoon to come play Scion again. It's really fun for those of you who joined in on chat. By the way, this is last week marked our 1-year anniversary of our campaign. And so as we enter the second year, we are slowly building things up to have all of you become eventually demigods and also unravel just what the fuck's going on Earth. But that's it for today. Let's go around, same order as we did the intros this time, and tell us who you are, where we can find you, what you have going on in your lives. We'll begin with Stuntman Eddie.
How's it going, everyone? My name's Anino. You can find me on Twitter at Anino4K. Tune in next Tuesday at 8 p.m., 7 p.m. Eastern Time on this channel for the next installment of Tomorrow in Revelation 3, a Hope Punk campaign run by Sarah of Swords and featuring a host of players who have fully immersed themselves in being gay and doing crimes.
Up next, the director, Kieran.
Hi, I am Hannah. You can find me on Twitter at Hanimation Art and everywhere else at Hanimation Studios. And you can find me back here next Friday for some Dresden Files with Anino as well. And then again on Saturday for more. What is this? Scion? Scion! I don't know. I had fun.
It was very fun. Next is, I believe, is he an actor? Was he one of the tech guys? The guy with the baseball bat. Finbar.
I would probably, when they would hand out the Oscars, I would be probably supporting actor. I am Robert, otherwise known as Hawkeye or Kentucky Hawkeye. You can find me here, of course, Saturdays 1 p.m. for Scion. Later on tonight at 8 p.m. tonight on my channel, we'll be doing Grappler's Keep, my WWE 2K20 universe, where a number of DMs, GMs, and RPG players from across the Twitch universe participate in a wrestling ring we lovingly call the Dice Tray. Tonight is our big Melee Madness pay-per-view. This is our version of the WWE Royal Rumble, where the men and the women will have a match where it starts off with 2 people in the ring, then every 90 seconds another person gets entered, and you're only eliminated by being thrown off the top rope and landing on the mats down below. Keeps on going until there's only 1 person left. The winner of each of those matches gets a title shot at our Dice Mania pay-per-view 12 weeks from now. That's our version of WrestleMania. Currently for the guys, they would be getting a title shot up against Simon, who is our current Master of Melee men's champion, but he'll be defending that belt tonight against Big Pig 50,000. Steve's going to be taking him on, so Simon's going to be defending that belt tonight. You'll see Kieran down below. Hannah will, along with her tag team partner, Ray Ann, who is also been a part of Scion here, will be going up against Fire Rose, the team of Praxagora Thesmophoria and Laugh Love Lindy, to try to win the women's Queens of the Keep tag team championship belts in a match, as well as participating in the Melee Madness Royal Rumble. Otherwise, Monday nights is Family Night at the Emporium, where my daughter and I were like doing these mystery puzzle games. We're going to be starting the Room 2 on Monday. Should be a fun challenge for both of us. Tuesday nights is our normal night for Grappler's Keep. We'll be starting back up with it again as we work towards our next pay-per-view after that. And then Wednesday nights is my weekly Skyrim serial, where I play a character called Zarzar Tintaroth. He is an ancient farmer or snow elf, and we call it the Random Legacy because every interaction he has with NPCs in the game is decided by a roll of this. If I can get my camera right here, this 12-sided die that I keep at my desk. And then otherwise, you'll find me here Saturday afternoons as well. Otherwise, I'm lurking in other streams, Cancer Cleric by day and Gate RPG Fanboy by night.
And last but not least, the, I guess, AD? The ADD?
AD, yeah. Yeah, I'm Lynn. Gremlin Art, pretty much everywhere, Twitter, Twitch. You can find art and what I'm doing throughout the week. And next time you'll see me is probably on streams is probably Wednesday for Hexcrawl, our spy game campaign, where we are in the midst of infiltrating an office to a rival spy agency. Only 1 person has died so far. A card did explode, so things are going about as well as anticipates. And since it's a light week, I think I'm going to be doing more game and Gundam streams throughout the week. And last thing is on Sunday, tomorrow on the 20th, the Die Hard Dice Tarot deck that I have taken part in, I did the Justice Tarot card for it. The Wandering Artist deck is going to be on sale.
That is true. That comes out tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, I should have started with that instead of the Hex Breaker dice set. But yeah, wait, which one did you do?
Justice. Let me see if I have that one.
Yeah, I see. Holy shit.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get it. Let me just link that in chat. Bam. And as for me, I'm Simon. Welcome to the Wandering Society. We'll be back, like Anino said, on Tuesday for Tomorrow in Revelation 3. We'll be back on Saturday for some more Scion. In the meantime, you can catch me tomorrow night over on Praxagora Thesmophoria as I reprise my role of Cadarn of Edern, the mage who burnt down a mage school in our Witcher Roads Home campaign. We are kicking off Season 3 with trying to figure out why our doctor started a meth empire to fund a camping trip.
Like you would do.
Like anyone would do. So we might see you there. With you back here on Saturday for some more Scion. And also on April 10th, over on Play Cancer Away, we'll be playing a charity game of Animon Story. So if you like Digimon Pokemon, check it out. It is for a Children's Cancer Foundation in Ukraine. We're raising fund for their hospital. So come around. We'll have lots of funds, probably some giveaways. So keep your eye out. We'll be posting things on the Wandering Society Twitter account, Wandering SCTY. Thanks again, everyone, for coming, and have a great weekend. Bye-bye.